Yo, so we're going to be talking about Lovecraft Country, episode 4. Last episode, I was kind of on the fence. Didn't know if I wanted to stick with the show. But this here was looking like the Black Indiana Jones, and I'm with that. If you're watching this on Facebook, please share this video, follow the page. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment on where you think the Lovecraft show is gonna go. But let's get to talking. I think this is one of those shows where you have to be in or out. And at this point in me watching the show, I would have to say, while I was on the fence last episode, I would have to say I'm more in now than I was last week. And here's why. Up until this point, this show had never shown me that it was going to be as deliberate and as meaningful with every scene and every little bit of dialogue that happened. But the way this episode unfolded and the way things tied back, not just to last episode, but the first episode, some things were kind of connected. It made me think, okay, even though this is weird, I still think that everything here is happening for a reason. So every nude scene, every time you see the magic and the spells and stuff, every time there's a bit of sexuality, whether it's gay, straight, or other, like we saw this week, there's a reason for everything to happen the way it happens. And because of that, I'm more willing to give my time to a show that's that thoughtful. It didn't appear to be that thoughtful, but now I can see more clearly. And I think I want to take the ride with this show. So let's talk about the callbacks. Things that we saw in the previous episodes that came back here. First was the crazy elevator. Like, that elevator kept going down, and then it saw some tunnels, and then it kept going down. I was like, man, that's kind of strange. That's all this is beneath her house. But in this episode, now you see that this elevator took them from, I think, Boston back to Chicago, like crazy. But I'm with it. This show has established that it got some crazy rules, and like physics and stuff don't matter. We got magic, we got spells, we got all this other stuff. Why not have a crazy elevator? Also, from last episode, you have the neighbors. The fact that the neighbors went missing, and in the title, you know, the opening of last week, they said like, yo, these people were never seen again. But as the audience, we seen them this episode. Like, the bodies of these people get transported to this underground area. You know, crazy as it seems, it's cool that they didn't just do that weird stuff that we saw at the end of episode 3 and then you never hear from it, you never see anything like it, it's not connected to anything ever again. No, that served the purpose there, and we see it show back up here. Very cool. The most important callback for me was the implied sexual nature between Michael K. Williams, I forget, Tick's daddy, I forget that name, his name, but the sexual connection possibly between him and the owner of the bar. Now, the reason why that's the issue is because in my first episode breakdown, I'm gonna link it, it's gonna be somewhere on the screen, but in that first breakdown that I did, I said the most disturbing thing about that episode was the fact that they just threw a homosexual sex scene in there, and it didn't serve any purpose. It didn't have any reason to be there other than to make the next encounter between Tick and the bar owner weird. But now we know better now, don't we? Now we see some little seeds being planted about Michael K. Williams' character and his possible drunken curiosities with the bartender or bar owner. I'll talk more about that later though. Moving forward, the only thing that I have negative to say about this episode is that I don't care too much about Letty's sister and what goes on with her. Not saying it was badly done or it was like shoehorned in, because we know now from the way the show works, nothing is shoehorned in, everything has a purpose. And I'm sure if these people are, the writers here are as good as they appear to be, there's going to be a reason for her to, have all that stuff happen to her. And it does look like next episode will be focused heavily on her. I'm just not that interested yet. Maybe, they'll get me interested in that character next week. But that's my only negative. Now let's talk about some predictions. First thing, I think Michael K. Williams' character will begrudgingly continue to help Tick for the rest of the season, but he's only helping to sabotage Tick because he thinks he's helping him by slowing down his progress. And I think in reality, nothing's gonna slow down Tick's progress. He's gonna accomplish every mission that the people put before him to accomplish. And I also think the Michael K. Williams character is going to pay for all the little sabotage things he's been doing, starting with killing the siren. Like, that's gonna be the first offense, and then he's gonna continue to do things, and the trouble is going to stack up for him. Okay, less of a prediction here, more of a guess, but I don't know if we're actually gonna get a resolution to the Michael K. Williams character and his sexuality. They may leave it to be ambiguous, or they may address it head on. I hope they address it head on and not just leave us to wonder, is the daddy fooling around? But it would make sense to me, because I can see a person being as angry as he is, being that angry mainly because he's repressing a part of himself. At the same time, the seeds that were planted about the Michael K. Williams character were planted by a liar. He's the same guy who said he slept with Letty in high school, which turned out not to be true. So if he's trying to plant seeds about the Michael K. Williams character and it's not true, that just means that Michael K. Williams is just playing a really, really mean, really angry drunk. And that is also something that could be very true, especially for that time period. So that is all I have for this episode. Again, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to the page if you're watching on YouTube, follow the page if you're watching on Facebook. This show is very weird, but I'm gonna stick with it because they've shown me that they're not gonna waste my time and just throw a bunch of random stuff. Everything that they showed means something, and that means something. So enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and come back and see your boy on another video.